Okay, I finally, I finally healed my dehydrated skin. I finally did it, and I want to share with you how I did it. So let's just go back a little bit to give you kind of like a history, because my skin has gone through a lot of different evolutions. I started off as an oily skin person, okay? An oily skin person. Back in the day when I had no idea what I was doing in terms of skincare. I was always a little bit more congestion prone, and I would get occasional breakouts when I was younger. Fast forward to later in college. Was it sophomore and junior year of college? I started breaking out. Again, still didn't know anything about skincare. Fast forward again to 2020. Curology reached out to me and they were like, hey, we would love to offer you like a subscription, basically. Like it was like 6 months or something free to try. If you like it, let's collab. I did it. It was amazing. I saw incredible benefits. My formula, I believe, if I remember correctly, was benzoyl peroxide, tretinoin, and something else. Azelaic acid, maybe? I can't remember, but it was like that was my treatment. I don't remember the numbers. This was so long ago at this point. It was still pretty gentle, and I was still getting breakouts here and there, but overall my skin texture, amazing. So much better. Then I decided to go to a dermatologist. I started to go to the next level, and I was prescribed a benzoyl peroxide clindamycin treatment. It's called Onextin. A lot of people are familiar with it. It's a pretty common acne medication, I believe. And on top of that, I was also prescribed tretinoin. I want to say it was 0.05. Hold on. Yeah, I think they started me on 0.05. I can't remember exactly. So it was very similar to my Curology treatment, which I did for about a year. And then I just graduated basically to like going into an office with a dermatologist and being like seen in person. And I was given some slightly more effective products. Now this is where the dehydration really begins. I was healing my acne. I was getting rid of my acne. I was finally learning how to utilize things like tretinoin for, collagen cell turnover and also exfoliation, which I don't think I really understood for a very long time. I've never been able to get to more than 3 nights a week with my tretinoin treatment without irritating my skin. And the benzoyl peroxide clindamycin treatment, I was supposed to use apply a thin layer to the face daytime, then moisturizer, sunscreen, all that stuff, right? That is really where I started to recognize dehydration in my skin. I started to reach this point where I was healing my acne. I was getting rid of acne. I was getting rid of, the painful stuff that was like deep down, the top acne, like tiny little bumps and stuff, which I'm very prone to. I was seeing such incredible results with the firmness of my skin, which is obviously not related to dehydration, but like tretinoin, shout out, seriously, like miracle product. Something that I've been struggling with for years has been figuring out how often and how much to be using of each of these products, okay? That has been the most difficult thing for me. And I think based on a lot of people who have followed my skincare journey, and based on your comments, that's something that is very, very common. Very, very common struggle is trying to figure out like how much of this do I use and how often do I use it. And it is unfortunately very different for a lot of different people, right? So for the longest time, I thought benzoyl peroxide was the biggest problem in my routine, especially because I had a leave-on treatment. It was a lower amount, it was a lower concentration, but it was a leave-on. And it was also like kind of a thick gel. It was really hard for me to deal with in terms of like applying other skincare products, having to put sunscreen on top of that. Like I just don't like having a ton of stuff on my face. And so I decided to explore benzoyl peroxide cleansers. I decided to leave the clindamycin. I don't need the clindamycin anymore. I'm just going to try out benzoyl peroxide cleansers, which brought me to the Inculist one, which is about 5%. If any of you are familiar, it's 5% benzoyl peroxide. Continued to use that and started to recognize that I loved using a cleanser so much more. Like I was making tiny little steps to get to where I am now. But the 5% was a little bit too much for me, so I decided to pick up Penoxyl, which is 4%. So just bringing it down that 1% made a big difference, okay? So then I got to like, okay, frequency-wise, how often should I be using these products? I was using my tretinoin 3 nights a week. I was using it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday evenings. That seemed okay. And then I was using the benzoyl peroxide like on the off nights, and it was just still too much. So I was like, okay, I need to significantly reduce everything. Like, I'm just gonna take a break from all of my actives because I just need my skin to completely reset. Yeah, I'm probably gonna get breakouts because I'm not actually like fighting anything. I'm probably gonna get more blackheads, but I'm just going to take a break. Now, I think I took like a week or two off. I can't remember. It might have only been a week. It might have been a week and a half. I just kind of like waited until my skin seemed like it could handle everything to slowly start reintroducing. Now, I knew that Tretinoin was a hero product for me. Like I said, when I first started using this, I just like my skin, not only in like the overall texture of my skin, but just snatched. When I first started using Tretinoin, once it started to like finally kick in, and again, I was using it in my Curology treatment for a year before I started using, I think it was 0.05, it might have been 0.04 or 0.06, somewhere around there. Within a month or so, I just like, people were asking me if I got Botox because my forehead was just like, shh, you know what I mean? Like, no, I've never gotten Botox. Like, I have so much movement. But I knew this was a miracle product. And I was like, I know that I want this in my routine. So this was the first thing that I started to introduce back into my routine. And I did just that for a little while. It was like, okay, once a week, twice a week, back to 3 nights a week. And then I decided, because I've always been someone who has struggled with blackheads on my nose, especially, I was just doing a lot of research. I was reading a lot. I was watching a lot of Dr. Dre videos. I was reading a lot about like different exfoliants and what they're for and what they tackle. And a product that had never really gelled with my skin, like I've never really responded to, was salicylic acid. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to try just introducing it once a week and see. Once again, I was just doing things really, really slowly, introducing things once a week, really, really slowly. The cat is like, what are you doing, bud? Little bud. What are you doing? Why are you such a little monster? And that's like how I ended up getting to the routine that I'm in now, which I will tell you, obviously, before we go into like all of the specific products. But that's really that was like the first big step, was just accepting that like, okay, I'm probably gonna break out. I can't panic. I'm going to remove all the actives, slowly bring them back in one by one, okay? So that I can tell exactly what everything is doing and how my skin is reacting to it. So, after a lot of different like back and forth, trying to figure out different combinations, different like staggering of routines, like what my nighttime routine is going to look like, what my daytime routine has pretty much always stayed the same. This is what I settled on. I believe it's been referred to as skin cycling, but you let me know if I am saying that wrong. I'm going to focus on my nighttime routine because that's really where the actives take place. They don't really take place in the daytime. First night is the Tretinoin night. Tretinoin and retinol. Can you play with that somewhere else, dude? Tretinoin and retinol. What that means is I use Tretinoin on my face, I use a retinol eye cream, and I use a retinol lotion on my body. Okay, so that's all like Tretinoin, retinol, all those things, those happen first night. Okay, the following night, some kind of an exfoliant, whether that is salicylic acid or benzoyl peroxide. I toggle between the two. So I do not use them in like the same rotation. I only pick one. So 1 week or one like 3-day stretch will be salicylic acid. The next 3-day stretch will be benzoyl peroxide. Now I use those in the form of a cleanser. No leave-on treatments. It's just what seems to work best for my skin. I like being able to like work it into the skin when I'm cleansing and rinse it off and then just go in with my hydration. It really helps me to manage dehydration, okay? The third night is off, okay? Nothing. No exfoliants, nothing, just hydration. So I'll use a cream cleanser or some kind of a gentle cleanser and then just hydration, okay? So Tretinoin, retinol, acid, nothing, okay? And then I just start over. After nothing, I go back to the Tretinoin. And that's my like 3-day period. I think that's what people refer to as skin cycling. I'm pretty sure. I went through a few different variations. That has been hands down the best for my skin. It just gives my skin a nice break in between them. I was feeling really pressured because dermatologists will often tell you like you want to use Tretinoin and try to end up getting to like using it every night, and my skin just can't handle it. I can't handle doing it that much. Even 3 nights a week was kind of a lot. So this staggering of actives has been life-changing in terms of my dehydrated skin. If you have dehydrated skin, then you know it is so your own doing of just like overdoing exfoliants, or overdoing the amount of exfoliants in terms of like using a cleanser. It could be the amount of time that you're leaving it on your face. I think they usually say like 1 to 2 minutes. She's so distracting right now. Buddy. Okay. So let's get into the breakdown of each night. So on my first night, when I use Tretinoin, I cleanse with a cream cleanser, some kind of a gentle cleanser. Now, typically I use the one from La Roche-Posay. To be honest with you, it's not my favorite cream cleanser. My favorite one is the one from SkinCeuticals. It's just so expensive and stupid. Like, why am I spending this much money on a cleanser? But yeah, it's a decent cream cleanser. If anyone has any suggestions for a cream cleanser that's like reasonably affordable or reasonably priced, and you like it, it's gentle on the skin, that would be fantastic. I would love that because I'm kind of looking to replace this one. But yeah, so I'll use a cream cleanser, which is this, or I've been using the Lisa Eldridge Skin Enhancing Treatment Cleanser. And this is fantastic. It's again, expensive, fantastic for if you have dehydrated skin. It is fabulous for it. Breaks everything down. It's so gentle. And when you rinse it off, it just leaves your skin feeling nourished. So if you've been interested in this and you want to do something a little bit nice for yourself, it really helps. So I've been using this quite a bit when I feel like I just need a little bit more moisture, when I feel like this is just like a little too much for my skin. This has made a really big difference. So some kind of a like gentle cream or whatever cleanser. Once I've cleansed, I really like using the Beauty of Chosun Calming Serum. This is the green tea and panthenol serum. I remember looking up like what are the things that I can use with Tretinoin, like product or ingredient combinations that are okay. So this is a really nice like hydrating calming serum. I use this first on my skin, which makes the Tretinoin a little bit easier to spread a smaller amount on the skin. So I'll usually do like, I don't know, however many drops of this. Maybe I probably overdo it because I overdo everything, which you don't want to do. Learn from my mistake. Don't do that. Then I will apply the teeny tiniest little bit of the Olay Eyes Retinol 24 eye cream. Okay? Teeny tiniest little bit. When I mean teeny tiniest little bit, what I mean is this. I do this amount and I split that between my fingers. So I'll split it. Okay? So just the teeny tiniest little amount. Doop, doop, doop. Literally just like here underneath my, underneath my eyes from like here, you know, just like that. Just like that. If I take it up any higher, my eyelids will get irritated. So I'm not trying to dehydrate my eyelids, you know what I mean? I do eyeshadow. I do makeup. I don't know if you guys know that about me. Then I take a pea-sized amount. That's what they say. A pea-sized amount. Nothing bigger than that. Not a blueberry, okay? Not a blueberry. A pea-sized amount of this. Tap it between my fingertips so that I can get like an even application. Forehead, start with my forehead. Outer perimeter of the face, along the jawline. Okay, up here, a little bit on the top of the nose. And then I'll take over whatever's left here. But I really avoid taking it around my mouth and like onto my nostrils because that's such a sensitive area. And then I go over top with my moisturizer. Now, this is the original formulation of the Skin Fix Barrier Cream, which was my absolute go-to. Absolute go-to for my Tretinoin nights. I've heard from a lot of people. But the new one is not nearly as moisturizing and much more lightweight. So, I'm actually in the market for something, if you have any recommendations. However, I do think that I probably do have a replacement that I really like, but whatever. So I've been using this. I just felt like I needed to tell you that because so far I haven't like switched it up really with anything else because I have this big one to finish out. But once this is gone, I'm gonna need something else. Oh yeah, it says use in conjunction with your favorite vitamin C, retinol, or chemical exfoliating acid for added barrier support. Why'd you guys change the formula though? Why'd you do that? Anyway, that's what I've been using. So that is my retinol night. That's day 1, okay? The following evening, I will double cleanse. I don't know if I've mentioned that. I use some kind of a cleansing balm usually to remove my sunscreen. Then for my cleanser, I've been going between, like I mentioned, Panoxyl, which is 4% benzoyl peroxide, or the thing always comes off. I think this is like a biodegradable package or something like that. Or the ink on it is or something, and that's why that always happens. Doesn't matter. Inky List Salicylic Acid Cleanser. These have been my exfoliating cleansers. So like I said, I toggle between the two. So I guess I am using these in the same week because it would be like every 6 days. Like I would use this like every 6 days and this like every 6 days. Does that make any sense? I failed 2 math classes. So on my exfoliating night, either I'm using salicylic acid or I'm using benzoyl peroxide. And what I have found, this one, the benzoyl peroxide, the Panoxyl says massage the area for 1 to 2 minutes. I don't feel, this is like for serious acne. Like if you have serious acne, then yes, you can, afford to leave it on your skin that long. I find 30 seconds for both of these. I would say at least 30 seconds, but like 30 seconds to a minute, is perfect. If I leave this on for 2 minutes, it's a little too much for my skin. This has been really fantastic because Panoxyl or benzoyl peroxide in particular really helps to heal existing acne and prevent future acne, while salicylic acid is really great for like really penetrating the deep layers of the skin, especially blackheads. And I have noticed a reduction in my blackheads since including salicylic acid in my routine. Like I said in the past, my skin never really like responded to it, but I think it was because I was trying to rely solely on salicylic acid. I was trying to pick like one thing. I think the inclusion of it in this routine with the Tretinoin has made such a huge difference in the overall look of my skin. It's just been a matter of figuring out how much and how often I use these products. So these are my exfoliating cleansers. After that, I just go in with hydration. I typically like, if you saw my recent empties video, I have just repurchased the Bioma Balancing Face Mist, which is my favorite mist to use day and night. Right now I'm using the Centella one from Cosrx, which is fine. It's just like not really doing that much for me. I don't know. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. I don't know. I don't think I would repurchase it, but that's what I'm using. So I always use some kind of a mist. Then I like to go in with a little bit of the Snail Mucin 96. This is the Power Essence. I've gone through all of the Snail Mucins from Cosrx, honestly, like the all-in-one cream, the Snail Mucin niacinamide combo, the like dual pump or whatever. And I kind of like them all. Honestly, I think was it 92? 92 all-in-one cream? I think that one might be my favorite. But yeah, I'm using this right now. Love to use a little bit of Snail Mucin. I've mentioned this before, but it's fantastic for kind of like trapping in that moisture. So if you're trying to heal dehydrated skin, it's really, really great for that. I find it to be much more effective for my skin than hyaluronic acid, but it might be something good to use on top of hyaluronic acid. I don't know. Anyway, mist, Snail Mucin, and then Aven, my Clean & Hydra. I just like, this is a moisturizer that will always be in my routine. Always. Like, it's just so good. It does have a slight scent. I wish that they would make one that doesn't have any scent, but this is specifically formulated for skin. Let me read it. It always says, yes, for blemish-prone skin left dry and irritated by treatments. Girl, if you're trying to heal your dehydrated skin, I'm telling you, Aven is the way to go. They just know what they're doing. Actually, they have a really good cream cleanser that I actually just ordered. Oh yeah, I ordered it. But Aven is kind of expensive. So yeah, I still want your recommendations. This I like to use at the nighttime because it is so nice and moisturizing. I do not use it during the day because it gives my skin like a very dewy look, which is just a little too much underneath my sunscreen. So if you're extremely dry, then you would probably love this. Regardless, it is my favorite nighttime moisturizer for like after exfoliating. Like, it's just fabulous for that. It would probably be okay on the Tretinoin nights. I just feel like I want something. This is a little bit more, it's slightly more watery than the Skin Fix. It's not watery. It's not like a water cream. It's more of a cream, but it's just like slightly more watery than the Barrier. And I like to have something a little bit thicker on those nights that I feel like is really gonna like penetrate, you know what I mean? Anyway, love this. It will always be a part of my skincare routine. Always, always, always. Not cheap, but damn, has it really just like I feel like it does so much for me. Then on my off night, I will cleanse once again with one of these things. Kind of depends on like how much makeup I'm wearing or whatever. Like if I'm wearing a lot of makeup, if I'm wearing sunscreen, what I choose to, I follow my heart. Okay, follow your heart. But I go between one of these, and it's kind of the same thing that I just did for the exfoliating night. A little bit of mist, snail mucin, finish off with my Aven. And that is just my off night. So that's just like remove the stuff and then hydrate. That's it. That's my like recovery night, my skin recovery night. And then I started all over. So the evenings are where the actives happen, and which makes me feel much more comfortable because I'm not layering so many products underneath my sunscreen for the daytime, especially if you're doing your makeup. Using that treatment, the Onextin treatment, was just like, how am I supposed to do this? Like it would pill underneath makeup, and then it just feels like everything is mixing together because the gel formula is kind of thick, so it's just like, it was a lot. I would highly recommend if you are using a lot of leave-on treatments and you're experiencing that kind of a problem, like pilling, or you just feel like you're layering too much on your skin. Cleansers is where it's at, dude. Or like those little wipes. Like if you're starting to you're trying to get into this kind of thing. Those, wait, what's it? Dr. Dennis Gross, right? The orange ones, where it's like an exfoliant and a retinol. I actually just got my boyfriend to start using them. Those are really great. They're just like a pad. You do this, wait 2 minutes, do the next one, apply your moisturizer. It's a great way to start. So I personally prefer saving all of my actives, all of that stuff for nighttime. For my daytime routine is so easy. So easy, I love it. It's fantastic. I literally just splash my face with a little bit of water. I'll go in with a mist. Go in with my mist to rehydrate. If you live in a place that has really great tap water, then you don't have to use a mist. Just leave the water on your face. I only do it because the LA water sucks. I do have that filter that I think I mentioned, but actually installing it broke my sink, and it's been leaking ever since. So I guess I'm going to stick with a mist for a minute. Then, I think I have mentioned this, I've been using every day, every morning, a pump or two of the Beauty of Joseon vitamin C serum. This is a very basic vitamin C serum. It's not the, I've gotten a lot of comments since I talked about it. A lot of people have talked about like the difference in vitamin C serums. Watch a Dr. Dre video, okay, to figure it all out. Vitamin C, to be honest with you, has just always been a struggle for me. So if I'm using something like this that isn't like the intense like collagen producing vitamin C, but it's just like a calming, brightening vitamin C, I'm happy with that. I got my Tretinoin for the collagen, okay? And that is just, it's doing just fine for me. This I really like for brightening. And I like for daytime. It's nice and lightweight. If you've been looking for a vitamin C serum, if you want something brightening that's going to help like dark spots, fade dark spots and things, this is fantastic. Super gentle. Mist this. Then I'll go in with one pump of the Centella. No, snail mucin. On days when I'm not wearing makeup. I do not use snail mucin when I'm wearing makeup because no matter what I do, it pills. And I think a lot of you commented, I think I've said this before, and a lot of you were like, dude, no matter what I do, snail mucin pills. So it's just like, leave it for the night, or if it's just like a day when you're just, you're not gonna wear makeup. That's what I do. If you're gonna do makeup later on, rinse it off and start over because it's just not gonna work. But I do like it. It really helps to moisturize. For my moisturizer, usually I use Kiehl's, the Ultra Moisturizer, Ultra Facial Cream or whatever it's called. I love it. It's my favorite daytime moisturizer. It's perfect. It's simple. There's no bullshit in it. It's moisturizing without being too heavy. It doesn't leave me looking oily or like too shiny or anything. But I ran out and I thought I had a backup, but I don't. So I have to order more. But in the meantime, I wanted to share with you the Outset moisturizer. This is what I use every time I do my makeup. I didn't grab the collagen serum. When I do my makeup, I do mist, the collagen serum, and then the Outset moisturizer. It's what I'm wearing right now. It's my favorite for when I do makeup. Like that's just my favorite combination. It just creates such a beautiful base. And then I usually don't even feel like I need to use a primer, which is fantastic. So I've been using this for daytime, just like a pump, because it contains squalane oil. Squalane. There's squalene and squalane oil. One of them is like plant derived and one of them isn't, I believe. right? So it has squalane, so it is very moisturizing, which is love. It's love. It's great for when I'm doing my makeup. I think my skin looks pretty freaking nice right now. You know what I mean? It's a little bit much for my daytime, but it's winter. It's winter in LA. It's a little bit drier than usual. So I'm fine with it. And then obviously sunscreen. These are my two sunscreens. I've spoken about them quite a bit. The Beauty of Joseon, what's it called? Sun Relief. I can never remember all the names. Sun Relief SPF 50 PA+, PA++++++. You know what I mean? All the stuff. It's fabulous. It's definitely more dewy. If you have extremely dry skin, you'll love it. It's a great formula. It's fabulous for underneath makeup. But I also discovered, because of one of you commented that I should check out the Haru Haru Wonder Black Rice Sunscreen. This is also SPF 50 plus PA++++++. And it is so good. It's my favorite sunscreen. It's not matte. It says it's a non-greasy velvety finish. I would say that it's hydrating, but it's not dewy. You know what I mean? Like hydrating in terms of like a moisturizer. This leaves me looking pretty like glass skin. This doesn't. It just makes me look like this, basically. Like my skin just looks moisturized and is so good. So good under makeup. So good. So yeah, these are the two that I would recommend. These are the sunscreens, because I listen, when I discovered this sunscreen, I stocked up. So I'm going to be using this for a while. You know what I mean? But if I had to choose, I think this one's my favorite. That is my current routine, and it has been really good. And I notice that the only time that my skin starts to get dry or I start to see an increase in breakouts is when I start to like panic a little bit and overdo it. Or I like forget what day I did what. Like it would be really helpful for you to write down, you know, just keep track. If you're not good at being like, okay, you know, 1, 2, 3, if you can't count past 3, you have a hard time remembering. Like if you have a planner, write it down, like what you did, so that you're not like accidentally doubling up on exfoliation back to back or tretinoin back to back. Because if that sort of thing happens, I instantly see like, okay, my skin's getting a little dehydrated. I often get like peeling around my nose, around my mouth, like down here. If I use too much tretinoin, you have to like follow the directions. You have to, if it says use a pea-sized amount, if it says use a dime-sized amount, don't like cover your palm. Okay? I implore you. And this is me just talking to myself, because that is probably one of my biggest downfalls. When I'm rushing through my skincare and I'm just on autopilot, I use too much product, or I'll forget how long the benzoyl peroxide cleanser's on my face, you know, and I overdo it. For those times, because listen, we're human. We're gonna make mistakes. You ever made a mistake? I have, and I'm going to continue to. Where did I put them? Oh, they're right here. When that happens, masks. I just slapped myself in the face with this. Masks, okay? These are my favorite masks when I feel like, okay, say, for example, the night before, like last night was a tretinoin night, and then I wake up and my skin's looking a little like, oh, I probably used a little too much. I'm looking a little irritated, like in my mouth area. Then in that evening, either I'll probably skip the exfoliant, I'll push it to the next day, do the exfoliant, day off, and then pick up right where I started, you know? And I will do a mask. Now my favorite, I love the Beauty of Joseon one. I ran out of those. They're really great. They're pretty lightweight. These are a little bit more effective, I think. These are Dr. Jart, any of the hydrating ones. If I see hydrating on it, I'm like, okay. Like this one, Cicapair, Intense Soothing Repair. I see repair, I'm buying it. Ceramidin, Skin Barrier Moisturizing. I see moisturizing, I buy it. Same one, Cicapair. Dr. Jart, Soothing Hydra. I see Hydra, I buy it. Okay? So all of these, I would say that the ceramidin is more creamy. I did it last night. Fabulous. So fantastic. And then these two are slightly more like watery in formula. I don't really have a preference for like when I use which one. Like I said, if they say repair, hydrating, moisturizing, I'm good. Like, you got me. So these are a really great supplement when you have gone a little bit too far with your exfoliants or your treatments. Okay, so just keep that in mind. It's nice to have just kind of like in your back pocket. It's also something that I like to do if I have like a special occasion, you know, if I'm going to a wedding or something. I like to do this in the morning to just make sure that my face is extra hydrated. so that there's no chance that my skin is going to be like peely or dry or anything anywhere. Even if I have breakouts, you know, extra hydration before you do your makeup just makes such a difference. Really quick, I just remembered I dermaplane. If I'm dermaplaning, then I typically will save dermaplaning for a day when I only ever save dermaplaning for a day when I'm not doing any active, so on my off day. And sometimes I'll add an extra off day if I feel like I need it. Because like you just never know, you know? Like lack of sleep, lack of water, the differing seasons, it all takes an effect on your skin. So I would say if you are struggling with dehydrated skin, then removing everything, starting with the basics, the absolute basics, cleansing, gentle cleansing, moisturizing, and then slowly reintroducing things. And when I say slowly, I mean once a week for a month, then twice a week for a month, then 3 times a week for a month. Like you have to commit to these things. Maybe it doesn't need to be that long, you know? Maybe it's like, okay, I'll do it once a week. And then the next week I'll do it twice a week. And then I can build back up, you know, in like a couple weeks or something. But that slow reintroduction is so important. It really helps you to figure out like what is actually effective, what is causing the irritation. If you're using a bunch of things all at once, how are you going to tell? You're not going to be able to. And wear your sunscreen. Don't forget to wear your sunscreen. I don't want to talk about it in this video, but I do want to talk about like sunscreen shaming. I don't know about you guys. I don't think that people started like yelling at me about how I was doing sunscreen wrong until I actually started wearing sunscreen. Like I just didn't wear sunscreen before and nobody yelled at me. And then as soon as I started wearing sunscreen, people were like, you're not wearing enough. You're not blah, 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 blah. And then that triggers my all or nothing tendency. And I'm like, okay, well, if I'm not going to do it right, then I'm not going to wear it at all, which isn't helpful. So even if you're starting off with like the smallest amount of sunscreen, just the fact that you're putting it on, you're doing more than a lot of people. And just be kind to yourself and work your way up. But do wear sunscreen. Okay. I said I was going to make this video for so long, and I finally reached a point where I'm like comfortable and I feel confident in my skin and all of that. I'm not going to lie to you. Sometimes breakouts pop up and I just trust the process most of the time. I do my best to trust the process, because if I don't trust the process, I only end up making everything worse. So just trust the process. Don't freak out about that one breakout. If you're on a Tretinoin night, do your Tretinoin. If you're on an off night and you have a breakout, don't grab your exfoliant. You're going to use it in a couple days. You want to just keep the cycle going so that your skin can really adjust to it. And level out. Everything will level out. I pinky swear. Pinky's up. Okay. I hope this was helpful. Again, please let me know if you have any cream cleansers that you love that are like reasonably priced. And I'm always down to, and also like a really moisturizing product. I was thinking that I might just replace my Skin Fix with the Outset cream because it's really good and I like it. Anyway, but if you have one in particular that you really like that's just like really, really moisturizing, nice, like heavy cream for a Tretinoin night, let me know. Yeah, I got nothing else. I'll keep you posted if anything changes, obviously. And let me know if you want to see a hair video, like the stuff that I use in my hair. Because now that I've been growing my hair out, which by the way, I'm getting it cut on Friday. Like I'm doing like a shaping because like, what is this? Like, what is this? I don't know what any of this is. It's gonna be so cute. All right, anyway, thank you for watching. I'm gonna go and I will see you in the next one.